All right, ladies and gentlemen, another week has passed. How is everyone doing today? And for some reason, that has broke. Yay. All right, so with that, we'll just jump right into it. Welcome, everyone, to the Icey Railway Podcast. I am your host, the Ice Dragon, Ray Run VR. And welcome, BCF Parts. How are you, good sir? First time joining at the beginning. Yep. uh... How are you? Hopefully everyone has had a interesting either long week or short week, depending on what you had. Hopefully everyone had a good and safe 4th of July. Man, it seemed like the news was going to be kind of... there's going to be like no news this week for model railroading, but you know, I gotta hand it to Scale Trains. They love making the news. Because I think this is my 4th or 5th video I've made of Scale Trains lately. And it's like, the news this morning just absolutely shocked me. And if you guys don't know, I did do another Icey news video on Scale Trains. And we'll go into that in a minute. Oh my goodness. But, another week has gone by. I got my mom and son train Railfans bracelet. I think we're finally ready to go. All right, so, and today we're basically just going to sit back, relax, enjoy a train running around the track. I think this is the first time in a while that I've run a freight train. Just a complete mixture of cars. I think you guys will enjoy it. And with one of my more type of diesels that only a mother could love. I've had this engine for a while now, and it hasn't really been showcased much on this channel. So I decided, you know what? It's time to showcase it. And we'll go to that here in a minute. So let's just dive right into it. Let's talk about that big elephant Thanos in the room. And that is our wonderful company that I have such a love-hate relationship with. Let's talk about this. So it broke earlier this morning. I was simply just doing some work, and this little announcement came across my feed, and I kind of facepalmed because it's like, Scale Trains, what on earth are you doing? If you haven't seen my video yet, I go a little bit more into detail. I'll talk about it here as well, because it's like, I'm still kind of shell-shocked by this announcement, but again, any announcement from Scale Trains is starting to become a little bit of a shell shock. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard the news, Scale Trains became an ownership position in virtual railfan. So this is a lot of business lingo. They didn't necessarily buy virtual railfan, to what I understand. I don't know if virtual railfan is like a board, has a proper board management team. I think they're a closed source company. I don't think they're in a stock or anything like that. But the fact that they basically have a seat at the big boy table when it comes to virtual railfan, and so they have a lot of swing, I would imagine, when it comes to the direction of where virtual railfans are going to go. And I feel like this is a bit of a stretch, kind of a scenario where we're going basically a bridge too far when it comes to this company. But, you know, from a business standpoint, it kind of makes sense. But from a consumer standpoint, it is like confusing as can be. Because if you think about it, you know, and I talked about this in my video, virtual railfan has all those cameras on YouTube, and so it could be potentially, it's a well-known brand as well, so it's like this business strategy is probably to expand the brand and the namesake of Scale Trains now that you're trying to bring in virtual railfanning, which again, it kind of makes sense because Scale Trains business model has always been prototype. They are the one company that strives to make sure that everything is prototypical, every nut, every bolt, every fence, every wire is to the T. They are very, very rivet counter type of company, more than I've ever seen. But again, the problem with that is as you add more detail, you lose functionality. And I cannot begin to tell you how many details I had to cut off because of how much it impacts functionality, especially on the trucks. When it comes to the tenders that I bought, the two Excursion UP yellow scheme with the American flag, as well as those silver ones that I bought for the California Zephyr Excursion, the silver Excursion, I had to cut off so many pieces because the trucks just kept derailing because it was just too many parts on it, and it just drove me nuts. And so here we are again. We got this partnership, which again, it kind of makes sense. I'm pretty sure this is more of a marketing strategy for Scale Trains, but I wish I knew the details. Again, all this is all speculation. I don't have the golden agreement that says exactly how much Scale Trains paid in this. I'm not sure if they even paid in this or not, or if there's some trades that they made behind the scenes to get into this. Virtual Railfan may have volunteered them to be on the board for all I know, but I doubt it. There's always business agreements behind the scenes that we just don't see. And so, from a business perspective, this kind of makes sense. It's definitely a risk, and definitely something that I haven't seen a company do before, especially in the model railroading sphere. Typically, we see other companies do sponsorships, usually through train shows, through the NMRA, and so forth, but not necessarily go into the company's board and try and be a direct influencer in that. And the fact that we're seeing this here is definitely something new, which is interesting. And they go on to say that Union Pacific has recognized Virtual Railfan as #1 railfan website. Interesting, that's the only Class 1 railroad that has done that. And again, Virtual Railfan could benefit from this because that's a lot of money potentially going into them to get new cameras, new locations. But again, I can see that potentially being a sponsorship as well. So I would imagine, I'm probably sure we would see, this virtual rail cam is sponsored by Scale Trains. And I think that's why they kind of jumped in when they did, because it gives them that door and opportunity to do marketing and so forth. It may have been a lot cheaper for them just to do this strategy than try to actually full-blown advertise against Walthers, against Athearn in the normal sphere that we see. Now, they still do that anyways. They still do the road shows. They still try to be at train shows and so forth, but it feels like they're trying to go the extra mile with this. So again, from a business perspective, this kind of makes sense. However, from a consumer point of view, I'm not so sure. Because, again, this comes from me personally. I am wondering, where are all the MTH stuff that they acquisition? And again, I understand that the side routes was a big issue. Where are you guys at when it comes to side routes? They're not communicating that. What about Fox Valley? We're slowly starting to see some Fox Valley products come out, and then they just acquired Exact Rail as well. And so I think I'm questioning where they put their money, but again, I don't see the numbers. I don't see the behind-the-scenes stuff to give a more educated perspective and viewpoint. All I can see is what they release in the press and just, what other people think about this. And so I'm just curious to see, from a consumer standpoint, where is all those other assets that you have so that you have product out for the customer? Because, money's got to come from somewhere. I hate to say it, but it's like companies live or die by money. And so yeah, and that's the thing. It's like normally it would be sponsorships. Again, the key term there that you said in that, and this is perfect, is that they're sponsored by a company or local shop or store. This is a little bit different in my opinion because this is not only a sponsorship. This is getting directly involved into the operation of Virtual Railfan. I don't want to say this is like a hostile takeover per se, but this is like they're embedding themselves in there, so they have a ton of influence, far beyond that of a sponsorship. And that's why I think it is a marketing strategy, but they're playing a different game in the future. Now, the question is, like I said, that money needs to come in from somewhere. When it comes to manufacturing companies, I would imagine, the way you get money is you get product out, you get assets out. And so, again, I don't see the numbers, but Their offerings are, I would say, limited compared to the companies. Again, granted, that's a big statement to say because they're a brand new company. They're starting off. That's probably why they're buying all these companies. And you would think that they would lower the marketing budget in order to get their problems fixed with their manufacturing so that way they can get more product out for the customers. But again, this may be their strategies that they're putting out money into marketing first and then getting the products out. I think that's a little bit backwards, but it's bold. I got to give them props. This is a very bold strategy, so we'll see. It's quite a development. And again, I think I will give them props for being bold and different compared to the other companies. Like, this is definitely we're here to stay, and it's time to get serious type of play. But I'm hoping for Scale Train's sake that this works out for them because, again, I am worried about the market share. Like BLI, especially in the Steam market. Again, we kind of talked about this a little bit on Steve Childer's live stream this morning. Go check him out. Go subscribe to him. We kind of talked about this, about the concept of market shares. Real Fan K, how are you, good sir? Also, congratulations on getting your 5,000 subscribers. If you guys like Real Fanning, Real Fan K has a lot of good videos on that. So yeah, congratulations, my good sir and friend. Kind of ranting a little bit about the Scale Trains acquisition. And then we'll start running some trains. It's kind of a big news in my opinion, because we've just never really seen an aggressive play on the business side from a model railroading manufacturer before. Because again, we hear takeovers and buyouts and so forth, but this is the first time I've ever seen them self-insert into a operations of another company. It's kind of interesting to see the fact they didn't outright buy them, but you know, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have a good amount of say in what goes on in that operations. Yeah, no problem. So again, it comes down to market share. So they do have a good market share when it comes to rivet counters. But again, the hobby is not all about rivet counters. So they gotta be careful not to price themselves out of the market with all these high-end, high-cost value of modern day productions, because the hobby is so much more bigger than that. Because you know, other people want and model other eras, so they really need to tap into that. And I thought they were going to be able to do that with Fox Valley, with MTH, and now with Exactrail. But they've been so slow to get these things rolled off the manufacturing lot that by the time they do, they're going to become obsolete. And that's my concern with Scale Trains right now, is because BLI is seeing this and they are coming out with new product after new product. They are announcing it. Like, BLI is in full gear with the manufacturing process. And so, you know, I as a customer, as a consumer, only have X amount to give to a particular company. Hey, Split Rock, how you doing, good sir? Again, kind of a little ranting a little bit on Scale Trains here. I hope you are doing well. And it's like, so take it from me, for example. Let's say I have X amount of money, and it's like, I can only give one company this money because we're looking at locomotives. I'm using Steam for an example because it's kind of a good focal point. You know, $500 up to $1,000 worth of you know, the price for one of these steam engines. And so it's like, I want to give my money to Scale Trains, but the product is just not there. While I'm starting to see BLI coming out with their steam engines, I'm seeing a lot of good videos on the Paragon 4s that are coming out. And it's like, it's getting to the point, I pretty much shifted that money from what I was saying to Scale Trains to BLI because their product is good. They're talking to the customers. They're making all these great announcements. They are closing the gap in the demand of the market. And I just don't think Scale Trains is going to be in the right place in the right time for that demand when it comes to the product. So doing stuff like this concerns me because that demand that's there is going to shrink on them, and I think they're going to be too late to the game. So that's why I continue to I want for Scale Trains to succeed. I really do, because I think they're doing a lot of good in the hobby, but I'm starting to really question their business practices a little bit, and that's where I'm concerned. Because again, I'm a big MTH fan, not necessarily of their decoders, but MTH was pretty good for what they had. And they had a lot of unique engines, and it's like, come on, Scale Trains, there's a huge demand for MTH products, you guys have it, especially the one that I really want from MTH, which is the triplex Erie steam engine. Like, I see that on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, and it's like by the time I get to it, it's already sold, or it's being sold for 3 times the price. Like, there is a huge demand for those engines, and it's going, I feel like it's going on deaf ears a little bit. Because again, we're not getting these announcements from Scale Trains. Now, granted, Scale Trains has been coming out with stuff. Like, I can't diss them on that themselves, because they have been announcing some new stock. Like, they've got some new Gevos that came in. Again, I'm doing it in the road tour again. You know, we got some flatbeds here, which is okay. Some box cars, long box cars. They announced a new GP30 run. So some new SD40. So it's like, it goes without saying that they are coming out with stuff, but it's like, it's such a niche market for them. And it's like, they need to continue to getting the other assets that they have available. And I think they need to get that soon. Like, that's where I think their money should be being poured into, is getting their MTH assets up and going, getting their Fox Valley assets up and going, because those assets you just don't see in any other companies. For another example, Fox Valley has their Hiawatha steam engine set. You guys have seen that on this channel a couple times. You know, every time I see the other member run that steam engine, it's like, man, that's a beautiful set. You know, if there's another run, it's tempting, because that was a great set. But it's like, you know, we get announcements like this from Scale Train saying that, oh, we're buying this, and we're buying this, we're going into this. And it's like, there comes a point that you're going to be involved in too much, and that demand is just going to go away. And now you have all these assets that are useless. So, it just concerns me. I want them to do good. They got some good things going, besides the decoders. But I digress. The sound is good, but the programming sucks. But I don't know. I'm concerned. I have a lot of concerns with this. But I don't know. I'm just one opinion, one small little voice. Again, that's just my thoughts on it. I'm hoping I'm wrong about this, but again, I am concerned as a customer who is obsessed with Scale Trains. Again, I don't necessarily buy all of their stuff, because again, I'm not that type of person who does prototypical, but they do have, you know, they came out with the big blow turbine, and I'm a huge fan of that thing, because I've wanted that diesel forever, and I keep trying to tell them, make the coal turbine, make the coal turbine. So, I don't know. That is that when it comes to Scale Train. So, with that, let's go ahead and look at some pre-order highlights, shall we? So kind of the stream for today is we're going to take a look at the ugly ducking when it comes to Union Pacific. And it's got the looks only a mother could love, and that is the U-Boat U50 GE diesel. When I saw this diesel, I instantly fell in love, because I love, you know, I'm not that typical person who likes the modern day engines. I like the big, the ugly, the weird, the insane type of engines. And no doubt UP during their 50s and 60s run, they had a whole bunch of them. And I love it. And so if you're a fan of the U50, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that Athearn is doing another run of their U50 lineup. Obviously, they got the normal UP, but they got the SP, they got the Blue Santa Fe, they got their showcase from General Electric, which is pretty interesting. And they got it in DC and DCC ready, which is pretty cool. So I'm not going to pre-order any of these, because, again, I got the one that I really wanted, which is the UP. If I would go for another one, I'll probably grab the SP, because, again, that falls under my family tree. But I'm kind of satisfied with the one that I have now that we will go ahead and showcase. So, again, just kind of some food for thoughts. And I think that's really all I got in the news when it comes to at least my sphere of what I'm interested in when it comes to model railroading. There's always news going on 24/7 with model railroading. But the things that I want to highlight, you know, that's pretty much it. All right, and so let's go ahead and go to our main event. So here she is. This is the Athearn first run of our U-boats. This is the U50. Again, not the U50C because it doesn't have the radiator in the middle. This is the one that has a radiator in the back there. And I did a little bit of research on this, found a few YouTube videos, and a few interesting things that I didn't know about this U-boat is that it's, again, another kind of Frankenstein monster with a few pieces. Came from I think it was a U-23 or something like that with the main body, and then they basically used that same engine and made it twice. And then they used the chassis of a Gen 1 turbine to use the trucks on this one, which is pretty funny. And then the U50C was from the Big Blow when they were starting to scrap those. So I never knew that. That's pretty interesting. But as you can see, it's going to be pulling a freight train today because, not often do I pull freight trains on this layout. But I figured today, hey, you know what? We'll kind of go into the 50s a little bit. I know it's not 100% prototypical because we got the trash car in the back there from OVR trains. And then some other random goodies in here for you guys to see. But there she is. There's our U50. Now, I probably won't have sound on just because I forgot to lower the master volume on the CV value. So it will sound really loud like a real train if I turn it on. But again, pulling some random freight. Now, if you guys know, some freight is actually part of the UP family tree here. And then I got a few other kind of little Easter eggs in here, which is pretty cool. Alright, and it's more towards the end here, so we've got our Atlas Special Edition kind of Liberty car right there, and then we've got the Exact Rail NES inspired controller, and then some scratch built firefighting cars that I bought from New Braunfels Train Show. So that's kind of lined up. Hey, mom and son train real fans. Tommy and Ray, how you doing? Again, I remembered to wear the bracelet. I got it. And, yeah, and if you guys don't know, she's running a contest. So go ahead and head over to their channel as well. Got some great content. Again, along with a Split Rock. And I think BCI Parts also has content as well. So, again, if you guys get bored of me or if I'm offline or you guys just want to do, watch some other content, you basically got this whole family over here that creates model railroading content as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's go to all the cameras here, and then I'm gonna do a few things a little bit differently. So let's is it this one that I want? No, with this one. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to do some editing behind the scenes. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you guys got all sorts of goodies. And that's the thing, this hobby is the hobby is bigger than me. And that's why I promote it as best as I can. Those other people that do other content is because this hobby is so much bigger than my little channel here. And so I do the best I can to spread the love, and you guys can eventually find, the content that you guys enjoy. One more thing I forgot to say as well, we just officially are now 1,300 family members strong here on the Icey Railway. So thank you guys so much for all your support, all the subscriptions, all the likes, all the comments, all that stuff helps. Again, I want to really grow this family of crazy Icey family members into this crazy hobby known as model railroading. There's so much that we can do with it, and the fact that we're inching closer and closer to the next milestone of 1,500 subscribers. So that is definitely awesome. And again, this is your guys' success. Okay, so what we're going to do with this scene here, I'm going to do a little bit behind the scenes editing. Because what I would like to do is I want to continue my experimenting. I appreciate that, Mom and Son. Again, I'm just nice dragon that, I I just promote the hobby. I do the best I can with it and have fun with it. And it's really you guys. You guys are the ones that make this all happen. So I'm really proud of you guys and the family. It's just amazing how much we can come together for a hobby. That's why I call it the world's greatest sandbox hobby. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to shrink this a little bit. I think we'll put this up here. I think I need to add an image. Let's add an image. Let's do... Okay, I want the Rails image. And we'll just put this in the back. Okay. And I'm going to rename this to all the cameras plus guests. What I'm going to attempt to do is get AnyRail up and going again to see if I can bring some of you guys in. I still want to continue to do that. So, Railfan, not this weekend. So this weekend, I'm going to be bringing back my, well, kind of spoilers for you guys. But again, I like putting spoilers in this stream. I'll be bringing back my Amtrak with the Orient Express again. And then, because I got to do a mini Railfanning video of it. And then once I'm done filming that, I'm going to switch it over to the SP Atlantic pulling that train. And then probably next Thursday, I will bring the UP50. Now, I don't know if I had issues with the UP50 in the past. I feel like I've tried it and had issues with it. It is a Tsunami 1 decoder, so it will have issues on ISOFrogs. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll bring that. If that fails, I'll bring... So I'll always have a diesel in backup. I'm just not sure which one I want to bring. But I've seen there's a... I don't want to say there's a cult following for the UP50, but there's a lot more fans of the UP50. And it's like, you know what? Let's give the UP50 some love today. So, I figured out what number it was, programmed it a little bit, oiled it down, cleaned it, and she runs smooth. Like, I'm quite surprised. All right. And I better knock on wood, because then the gremlins are going to come out and punish me for that. Like I said, I keep saying the UP50. It's just like me and saying CPKC. I always say KPKC. I don't know why. And it's like I've got UP50 stuck in my mind with this thing. It's U50, U-boat 50. General Electric, U-boat 50. It's got the looks only a mother can like, and I definitely like it. I definitely like it. Alright, so what I need to do now... I appreciate that, Mom and Son. Have a good rest. Okay, let me... Let's see. I'm brain farting. Customize. Ask for display names, show display names. I think that's fine for right now. Now, I think what I gotta do too is I gotta take this, I gotta paste this into here. The plumber, how are you, good sir? Hope you're doing well. Okay, I think we've got this squared away. Yes, I am using OBS, and right now I'm just tweaking the scene a little bit because this is going to be I'm importing Video Ninja into the scene real quick, and then I'll shoot out the link for guests. So I'm trying not to brain fart, but I'm slowly brain farting, and I'm trying to remember how I do this on the fly here. All right, I'm gonna do scene guests. Hey, so now you're gonna see me twice. Well, this tells me that Video Ninja is working, which is a good thing. All right. And I think we're in sync. Do you guys hear any echoes? There should be no echoes. Hopefully no echoes. And if we're good, then I can start, let's see, invite, copied. All right. So if you guys want to come up, we will go ahead and do that real quick. Paste. And I shall pin this. No echo, sweet. All right, so I think we got Video Ninja squared away. So I'll pin that. So if you guys want to hop on in. Again, this stream is going to be a little bit more laid back. Probably won't go as long as I normally do. You're doing some painting. Nice. That's always relaxing. Nice. Dinner and a movie. Yep. No, Split Rack. What I was, I'm not sure. I'm just more concerned of business practices because this happened today. I'll go back to the article real quick. I'm not necessarily mad. It's just I'm concerned of where they're going. Where is it? Where is it? So this right here. Scale Trains became basically part ownership of Virtual Railfan. They announced this about 10 hours ago. So they acquired an ownership position in Virtual Railfan. So not necessarily buying Virtual Railfan, but they have a stake in the company now. So, which leads to a whole rabbit hole of questions that I have as a consumer. So, from a business perspective, makes sense. From a customer perspective, it's like, what? So, again, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. And it's not like the products are technically bad. It's just, you know, they bought MTH. Again, I'm heavily biased with MTH. What questions? Like, let's see. Yeah, double drinks there. I'm just more concerned in not putting their focus on getting their product out in a timely manner. It's more about the where are they spending their money. It just feels like that they're spending so much time trying to buy everything, and all of their assets are just going behind the scenes, and by the time they get their MTH products out, the marketplace is already their market share is already going to be not there. So, like for example, I've been waiting for them to get their GS4 daylights out from MTH because I want to support them and everything. But the fact that they're having so many manufacturing issues, aka the side rods and so forth, that it's just taking them forever to get it out. Whereas you got BLI, who's having another really good product when the Paragon 4s have announced their run of GS4s and so forth. I decided to shift away from scale trains. So again, that's money that they're losing because they're just taking a very long time to square away the manufacturing process. And I understand that they're having let's see. Well, the thing is, will they have all that money? Because at that point, as a customer, that money is going to be infinite. True, but are they going to wait for scale trains, or are they going to actually buy the product that's actually been announced and getting ready to release? And I understand that, again, I'm trying to be realistic too from a business perspective. I understand that they can't release everything, but it's like, what perspective are you giving the customers when you're doing other things and not keeping everything together? And that's fair too. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And again, my issue with scale trains is that sometimes they put too much detail into their work. So I'm not a fan of their Paragon 3s, but the Paragon 4s I am loving. Like the Atlantic that I've been showcasing a lot lately, really, really good. Minus the smoke box. Granted, they have smoke box issues. They tend to melt the chassis if if you're not too careful. So again, it's apples and oranges. It's just like which DCC system you want to get, which decoder you want to get. Me personally, again, I'm heavily biased. Yep, absolutely. But so the release date, so the pre-order is closed. The release date was supposed to be soon. I can't remember the exact day. I think BLI. I'll do some research. I think BLI put it out. All right, the plumber. Take it easy. But I also hear, too, that the GS4s got delayed till September. So, I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm more concerned that, again, people will be patient. I'm not a patient person by any stretch. And I've been satisfied. Like, the whole purpose of why I got the BLI Atlantic was to test to see, and again, this is a far out comparison, but I just wanted to see what the quality was, what the running condition is like. We'll go over ISO frogs. I road tested that thing hard on the Samurai layout, and it ran fine. Like, I had no issues, no derailments, no stuttering, no nothing. Like, it was a very good engine. And that was enough for me to switch over to GS4 with BLI. And another thing, too, is like, I'm hoping Scale Trains learns this, but the packaging that BLI does with steam engines is, I think, the way things need to be. The tender and engine are connected. You don't need to unplug it. And the casing, the clamshells, is all formed around both units being tied together. So again, it's a lot of nitpicky things for me personally. Okay, I think I'll switch off this view real quick and we'll go back to all the cameras here to zoom in. And let's go ahead and switch this over. So that was just my thing about scale trains. Okay, so their website is painful to say the least. I'm not a fan of their new website. Okay, Broadway Limited, HO scale. Okay. Let's see, Steam. And GS4. God, the website's so bad now. Let's see, Paragon Sound with DCC. Okay, let's take a quick field trip. So I can, but the problem is most of their Steam, the stuff that I'm interested in, not necessarily the prototypical modern day stuff, they don't offer it in operations. It's mostly their modern day lineup. And then the other thing is, I'm not a fan of Loc Sound or ESU. So again, there's multiple different things. Again, it's all biased. I prefer Paragon 4 over Loc Sound. All right, let's go to, let's see, Icey station. Okay, so here's their lineup. I need to find, okay, right here. So here's your SP. Here's the GS4s. And again, I went to Train World. They're a little bit cheaper on Train World. Anytime you go to a distributor, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper. But yeah, here's the lineup of GS4s. They got the Freedom Train, and then they got the Train World exclusive, which is one I'm excited for, in the Western Pacific scheme. Now the thing is like Scale Trains, their company itself, they really model over prototypical. I love that they're doing fantasy schemes as well. Yeah, and I like soundtracks too. Both, in my opinion, they're both good. In fact, you guys know I love Blunamis. If I had my ultimate dream, I would go that way. So it's a personal preference with Iron Planet Hobbies. So it can be cheaper to go through Iron Planet Hobbies, especially with all the discount codes that are out there. But I like the system on the pre-ordering side that Train World offers. And so it's more of a, again, more of a nitpick, more of a meism. So, I'm a little bit stubborn when it comes to that. So, it's just personal preference. So yeah, here is the GS4s. Now, with Iron Planet Hobbies, if they have the Digitrack stuff in stock, then yeah, I'd go after that in a heartbeat. Because that actually saves me a ton of money that way. But when it comes to pre-ordering, it's just, again, personal preference. Or you go through Train World, or actually we'll go through Central Coast Hobbies in California to give them some business, because I knew the owner there, and she was amazing. So, yeah. The stuff that again, I'll show you here on either Broadway Limited or Train World, but some of my pre-orders also go back to local hobby shops as well. So I will eventually. Again, I still want to give business to Scale Trains, but it's like, the thing is, I don't want to wait 2 to 3 to 4 years, because I've heard nothing from Scale Trains when it comes to when, and that's the thing. I don't even know if they're going to even do the Freedom Train from Scale Trains. Like, Scale Trains is not communicating what they're even going to try to do in their lineup. Like, the best you can get is by answering them in person when they go to the road shows or to the train shows. And it's like, I could wait, because I know MTH, I think, made a Freedom Train in GS4. I could be wrong about that, though. I have to double check. But if they do, it's like, okay, and then how long do I wait? So it's like, again, I understand it's all based on personal preference on how long you want to wait. But for me as a content creator, it's like, I'm a little impatient. Like, I will admit that. So it's like, I don't know. So it is on my list. At the time of when they released, when Broadway Limited Imports made this announcement on the GS4s, I really only ordered the Western Pacific one because I just wasn't sure how their quality was going to be with the Paragon 4s in steamers. And again, that's why I got the Atlantis, the Southern Pacific Atlantis steam engine, because I really wanted that engine, and no one else was really offering it. And B, I wanted to see what their quality of product for the steamers were with the Paragon 4s. And that really convinced me that this is actually really, really good. And so that's when I decided, you know what? It's here. Let's grab a GS4 from BLI. And now that's not to say that I still may get... So I have on pre-order the Quad 4 GS4. That's the one I have on pre-order. I may still end up getting the 4449 in daylight scheme colors from Scale Trains. Because, again, I want them to succeed, and so that's something that I still may do anyway. And then that does two things for me. I can compare and contrast between BLI and Scale Trains and see what what the differences are, and then I can make a much more informed opinion between it. So, Split Rock, I've gotten in their face before. Remember, they were here for Samra, and I did the whole video with them. And, I talked to them. It's like, hey, when's the announcement for GS4? When or for the J-Class? Because the J-Class will give me a timeline when the GS4s are going to come out for MTH from Scale Trains. And, matter of fact, let's dive into this rabbit hole a little bit more. I'm just going to stop my window capture. When did they announce their J-Class? Like, I want to say that was a couple of months ago, wasn't it? It may have been more. J-Class announcements. And again, I get the point that, they were having side rod issues with their manufacturing process. I get that. I just wish they would talk more to the community, but I think they're holding that really tight right now because, the other competitors are watching them closely. Man, I cannot find that article to save my life. Here, let me go to all the cameras real quick. Come on. Yeah, and I guess, Play Rock, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Sometimes the patience is worth it. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my my big blow turbine from Scale Trains. I absolutely love it. And I love their GP30s. Like, oh my goodness. Like I said, that GP30 that I bought from Rio Grande and Chicago Northwestern. Oh, I love those diesels. Absolutely love it. Man, I'm going crazy. I cannot find that announcement. So it's not necessarily talking, it's just more informing their customer base. But I mean, I get that perspective too. It's like, it's not necessarily asking for feedback. It's because, yeah, you'll definitely get, if, Scale Trains goes out and say, hey, we need your feedback. Half the time they probably won't have that feedback, or they'll, they make comments like that maybe we should make them in the USA. I understand that, yeah, the manufacturing process nowadays, I mean, that's a whole nother issue in itself. But I get that, they got to go to China to keep the hobby afloat. I get that, and I'm not going to argue that whatsoever. I just want more transparency. I mean, I know they can't potentially do that because of trade secrets. So they got to keep those trade secrets to make a profit. So right now, they're definitely keeping tight where they're at in the manufacturing process for their MTH and Fox Valley stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a good topic. That's why I bring it up. And I could be completely wrong. Again, this is 100% speculation. I am just speculating everything. I want Scale Trains to succeed. It's more of a love letter to Scale Trains. Like, hey, your customers, your competition, what isn't transparent? Just where they're at in the manufacturing process when it comes to their acquisitions. Like, I'm seeing a lot of comments and posts to Scale Train and so forth. Like, I mean, let me take a look at the Facebook post real quick. I'll just read some comments here. Again, I know it's not a great sample size. So here's some comments from that acquisition from Virtual Railfan. So great, now let's produce the SD45X. Out of all things, why this? Can't wait until you start franchising. This might be a mistake. Why? What haven't you guys bought lately? Where are you planning on installing cameras on the Denver Rio Grande? Some people do like it, real dope. Again, not necessarily a bad thing because they can get more cameras and so forth. Let's see here. Just more cameras. Okay, here's a comment. Congrats, y'alls. Who would have thought that a semi-niche startup would start taking over the railroad hobby world? Now, when will you release the SP Daylight locomotive and consist, for crying out loud? Wow, so when are you guys going to own a Class 1 railroad? That's pretty funny, actually. But again, it's a small sample size. When are they going to go to O-gauge? So when will we see the MTH steam locomotives? I guess not for a few years now. Yeah, and again, that's unrealistic. Yeah, 245 suggestions. And again, of which you don't know if those people are going to actually buy the product. Again, when it comes to social media, you can ask all the suggestions you want. It's not necessarily going to translate into profit. So I get that too. I don't know. It's definitely a good debate. Absolutely. And again, knowing me, I would still probably grab a 4449 daylight from Scale Trains whenever they come up. And again, that's why I decided to go with the 4444 from BLI, and then we'll eventually get the 4449 daylight later down the road. Because I think it's worth a video to compare and contrast the two. Absolutely. So, we'll see. I still can't find when they announced the J class. That's what I really want to find. Because I know they announced it. Oh, we are doing well there, Mystic. How are you, good sir? Splitwork and I are having a great conversation about, you know, just kind of supply and demand when it comes to Scale Trains. I mean, it's really, really good. I enjoy this stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing, Splitwork. I'm trying not to. Here's the thing. I look from the business perspective, and I'm not trying to tie in model railroading with the rail camps. Completely separate entities. It's more of, I wish I could see the contract that Scale Trains did with Virtual Railfan to see how much money they're actually putting into this, if any. Again, we'll never see that because, again, those are trade secrets. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, and there you go. Transitional air diesel sin scale, yep. But again, we're a small sample size, and again, everything I say, take it with a grain of salt. This is just my small little perspective on things. And it's just my opinion. Is I don't see the money either. So it's like, again, all speculation. All speculation. Why am I worried? Because I am obsessed and I care for Scale Trains. Call me crazy. I want them to succeed. That's why I care. That's it, Split Rock. I just care about them. That's all. The fact that their CEO is going on road trips and trying to do the best they can, so. So, yeah, I get that. It's just, again, I just want transparency. I would like them to say, hey, this is where we're at. We know that there's a lot of, I mean, you've seen it from their comments that there is a demand out there. And as a social media marketeer, you would think they would have some updates, say, hey, yes, this is still in works because we're having side rod issues. You know, just something. It's just more of the communication piece that I'm just concerned about. Again, it doesn't affect my GS4 per se. It's just there's a demand out there. Now, again, it's all based on my small sample size. Again, I mean, so they came close to bankruptcy because the turbine almost didn't succeed. They were like one day away from going to bankruptcy. Yeah, and that's the thing, Mystic. Yeah. Again, I am asking a lot, but you know. There's just things that we will never know. And see, and that's what I would like. I mean, have you? That's one thing I should ask the owner. But have you talked to the owner directly, Sputterrock, about that? Because then I would definitely like to see sources on how much money they make. Because then I can definitely add more sources to my videos for sure. But again, I haven't seen it. I mean, if you say they're doing good, then yeah, I trust you. But yeah, but why do I care? Is because I care too much about scale trains. But again, I'm definitely not putting my money where my mouth is. Like I kind of just, you know, I want these engines. I see it. The market's good. And you know what? I'm just going to grab it. So. But again, everything is subjective. And that's why, you know, it's just my opinions. Yeah, I agree with that, Sputterrock. Oh, absolutely. Yep. And that's why it's, again, this is why it's all speculation. It's good to talk about. And we won't know the actual numbers. Plain and simple. We don't, like I said, I could be, you know, they could be doing good for the pre-orders as far as the BLI side of things. But again, we don't know, we will never know those numbers. I'm just going off of hearsay from what I've been seeing in social media and from, you know, the people that I talked to from the clubs back at California, from those that I know here at the club. So we'll see. But the thing is, that's theoretical. I don't know the other business costs with everything. Again, I'm using GS4 as an example. They have a whole plethora of other assets that they could tap into. And the thing is, like, sure, they made 4 million, but again, I don't know what their budget is for running the entire company as a whole. So I don't know in the grand scheme of things. I don't know how much, you know, they got to pay out in tax and so forth. So I care about them because they made a very good impression on me when they came to Samra. And again, I am definitely an outlier in that. I care too much about them. And so it's more of a love letter scale train. It's like, hey, you know, I'm hoping you'll be a little bit more transparent on these processes and just what is the timeline? I guess what I'm asking for is a timeline of their products. Which, again, I know that's a lot to ask for. And I'm very biased because do I care about Atherin? Not necessarily. Do I care about Walthers? Sure. I mean, they've been around forever. BLI has definitely had their issues. Their Paragon 2s are crap. 3s definitely had a lot of issues, but they've improved a lot with the Paragon 4s. And I'm getting a lot more biased towards BLIs lately. All right, Real Fan K, take it easy. Oh, and I believe it, and I know they care. Like I met Shane, and I met the team when they came by. Oh, I definitely grew up with Atherin Blue Boxes, yeah. And they're still a good product, don't get me wrong. Like, all these companies are good, it's just I have a soft spot for scale trains. No, I think you're thinking of Boxcar or Husky Boxcar Mystic. If I understand that right. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Let's get some music going on here. Let me know if it's a little too loud. So I think what we're gonna do now is let me switch it over to a different cam. Let's see. Mine was good, Mystic. I ended up streaming for a little bit in the morning. Ran the Freedom Train. We had some guests on. We had Leon. We had already on. So that was cool. This is technically chiptune. Chiptune / EDM. This comes from Pretzel Rocks. Just a little bit more here. What? I don't think that's a name I'm familiar with. Long time ago. Right. So, like I said, whenever we get partnership, there are emotes that are coming out. I do need to have a dancing Ray Ron though. Okay, as our U-boat comes around, I'll get you guys connected, and then we can get on board here. Get you guys the camera view. All right. Alright, so we'll get you guys connected to our freight train here. Again, on the right hand side you're seeing the U-50 from Union Pacific. On the left hand side is the OVR trash can car. Whoa. Let's not jerk the train that hard. Alright, so welcome aboard. Nice. Yeah, back when MTV was really good. So you guys can really see the overswing of UP50 there. Okay, why is my my 4 camera's working. There we go. Put this up for a little bit. That's understandable. Alright, so these are the 4 cameras that are with my wireless cameras that I can move them around in the layout if I want to. And so we're on the train on the top 2 there. And then we got the other 2 kind of in blind spots of the layout that my other cameras can't get to. So you can see the absurdity of the camera train. And as you can see that we got our skill trains tenders with the big boy on the right there. But yeah, I am definitely rooting for scale trains. They are, I see them as the underdog when it comes to the modeling manufacturers, starting from scratch, going from nowhere, and that's why I'm definitely rooting for them. And I do hope we see the announcements from their lineup soon. Definitely rooting for that, and I'll be excited once they announce it, and you guys will see, you know, when they finally announce it. I'll definitely do videos on that as well. Because again, I would like to just, again, take my advice with a grain of salt, but it's just more of getting the information out there. Hey, this is happening, and then here's my thoughts on it. That's all. So if I can't remember the exact history. I think they were supposed to be run on the Sherman line, but it was in the 60s these were running. And I don't think they were to replace. I think they were to help the D4s. I'll have to do some more research on it. I just know the very basics of the U-50. And I'm not great when it comes to memory. Man, I'm such a big fan of that Blick build turbine. Like, I love that Scale Trains made that. Well, yeah, the U-50s weren't really popular back then. I mean, it's just recently, I would imagine that the following was pretty strong. Yeah, so that was that's a funny story. So in the whole fiasco of Exactrail, when their website, I can't remember the name of the website anymore. I think it was like trainworld.com that they owned. Not Trainworld, Train Life. When their website Train Life was going out of business, and it's like I knew that Train Life and Exactrail were owned by the same parent company. And so when they were going out of business, I thought Exactrail was going out of business, and they had their Exactrail products on sale for 40% off. So as soon as I saw that, I said, yes, please, I need this. So I grabbed that in a heartbeat. I got that thing for 40% off. And then that's when they realized there was an error in the website. They made that statement saying we weren't going out of business, only later to find out that they were bought by Scale Trains. Alright, let's bring up the 180 camera so you can see that car a little bit more. So yeah, I got the there's the Atlas car. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Like, I watched a lot of videos, but then I have poor short-term memory. So there you go. I can't recite. Yeah, and then they basically put the two same, I think it was the U-23s. I can't remember the exact number, but they put two of those same engines together to get the double the power. But yeah, they had a lot of issues. I believe they had issues with the trucks. They had issues with rusting. They used different type of wiring. They used copper wiring, so it burned out a lot. So that's why they were ultimately scrapped. And it's like one of the interesting facts about the U50 was that, was it U50C? I can't remember which one, but they were used like as generators for, oh man. They were used as generators for an event. I can't remember the exact event. For like a power outage that the company had, I think, but it's quite funny. Only it looks a mother could love. There you go. Yep. Real lemons. Yeah, when it gets to the technical stuff, I'm terrible at it. Absolutely terrible. So yeah, there's the Atlas car. God bless America. What I like about this Atlas car is that it's got the graffiti on both sides, which is pretty cool. Whereas the Exact Rail only has the NES controller scheme on one side. And then these two cars were actually scratch built. So I don't know. I may have told the story of how I got these as part of my New Braunfels train show haul. But I was talking to a lady, and she was saying that, yeah, her husband passed away, and so, you know, she was selling the collection. And she was saying that these two cars, yeah, they were scratch made. Decals were put on by hand. Everything was hand built. You know, just put the trucks and the wheels on. And it was quite a touching story. And I think there was like two other cars, but I wasn't a fan of the two other cars, to be honest. But yeah. Again, you can just do a quick Google search and you can find the full details. So yeah, and what's cool about, I'm not doing this one car justice. Hang on. Let me show you guys something with with that car. So what's cool about it is that this piece actually comes out and can extend if you really want to showcase it that way, as the ladder extension for the firefighters. So it's definitely one of my favorites that I have. Alco is tragic, yeah, and I just like their unique style looking, because you know when you look at it and it's like, yeah, that's an Alco. I need to get more of those engines. I really do. Oop. Go the other way. I should showcase something else, I think. Yeah, let's go back to all the cameras. Shall we do one more thing? To really, let me go grab something, I'll be right back. All right, let's see here. Oh, I don't know, Mystic. Conspiracy, yep. Would you guys like a POV perspective? Because I kind of showcased this a little bit on the 4th of July stream, but I haven't done it on the main time that I do this. So let's see. Let's go ahead and jump out of this. Let's jump into this. Okay, I'll try not to make you guys sick, but we'll see. Again, I'm still kind of testing this feature a little bit. And I haven't even, I mean, it's so brand new, I haven't even put a, I thought I put a perspective. Okay, we'll get there. Oh, interesting. There's a lot of things I'm learning that, considering how restricted railroads were, kind of cost the business of the railroad. It's quite interesting. All right. Why are you not working? I think this is the right one. I bet you I got the wrong. I think I grabbed the wrong one. Yep. That's why. Hang on. Yep, EMD is going strong. I think it was EMD that makes the Aces, right? Again, I'm terrible when it comes to modern day. Oh, excuse me. The Okay, so I'm experimenting. There's a couple more cameras that I'm going to be getting, but again, it's kind of on hold for a little bit. But there's like a camera that can rotate 360 for the most part and zoom in like one or twice. And I forgot to turn this on. Okay, now you should be synced. Come on. Where are you? Alright, so we are connecting. Yeah, and be apart, that's why I don't typically do modern. I do make some exceptions. Like I do have some ACEs because I love the design. So I have, especially my heritage fleet. Yeah, the SC70s, ACEs. You know, we were talking about MTH. And I'm not on my right camera. So, yeah. Most of my heritage fleet is an MTH. Yeah, I forget all the detail too. You're not the only one. I forget too. Okay, so you can do it. I wish I had the time. That takes an incredible amount of research and editing and something I just don't have time at the moment. Alright, let's take a look at... Man, that's taking a good long while. Why are you not connecting? Sometimes technology hates me. Okay, all the cameras. No one's in the basement, good. Because sometimes I do forget that that's up. Thanks to my short-term memory. Classes are going good. Working on a paper right now. That's kind of eating up a lot of my time. Of course I have time to say hello. What's this? Hello, Icey, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. I don't know why we say goodbye. I say hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why we say goodbye. I say hello. We're busy with conspiracy theories, yep. Awesome, you're not gonna connect. Well, this may not happen today. Let's see. I wonder. Try one more time. Now I got that song stuck in my head. Not now. Enable preview. Yeah, I think this is not going to work. Awesome. Let's try this another time. It was working on the 4th. Now it's not. Let's see. No, don't do that. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully we can get your mind off of it for a little bit. Alright, let's get you guys back on the train here. Oh, nope, that's definitely not it. Hang on. Hang on. Let me try something else. Let me do a cycle on the GoPro here. One last try. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, one last attempt. Hey, we got it. Nice. Okay. Later. Okay. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. All right, let's do this. A kitty cat. Kaiju cat. Where? I don't see one. Okay, so this should be... Oh, I gotta rotate it though. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. A little bit of editing. Give me 1 second here. Let's do all the cameras. I need to go into studio mode real quick. Let's duplicate. Let me duplicate you. Okay, which way do I need to rotate this? This way. Awesome. And then we're going to alt this. Okay, don't mind me, I'm just talking to myself. And then I need to maximize that. Okay, I think we are close to there. Okay. Oh. Got to bring this down. Okay, let's put this on. Yep, I think we are ready to go. Okay, so again, you know me, I'm trying to see how far I can go with presentation of model railroading, especially when it comes to live streaming. So let me just make sure I got nothing going crazy on my screens here. All right. So I will try to keep this rotation and try not to make you guys sick. But welcome to the head cam. So this gives you a nice POV live streaming perspective. And basically I have a GoPro stuck to my head. Now I'm gonna take the phone with me so that way I could see what you guys are saying. But we'll take a quick little gander here. So you guys can see. Again, I know this may look kind of crazy, but kind of want to give you guys kind of a POV perspective. Let me know if you can't hear me, if I have to kind of shout a little bit. So this gives me quite the capability. Yeah, see, I'm moving way too fast. But it'll definitely be kind of an inception too. So eventually I would like to have like a TV or something with the chat up there. You can hear us just fine? Awesome. So I'll give you guys kind of a tour. So this is Ghetto Bridge. Yeah, you can see the delay. Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a delay. It's just, I can't fix that delay. Just the way all of this is working, there's gonna be a delay. Yeah, there's a few buildings. They're just paper buildings that I bought over time. Eventually I'll get into building my own buildings, but again, it just comes down to time. But the layout is definitely a mess, no doubt. I'm just trying to get functionality first and trying to figure out my presentation style. And eventually I'll have a wireless mic, so that way it doesn't sound like I'm too distant from the mic. But yeah, cable management is bad, organization is bad, like, I'm just trying to maintain a functional railway for right now. And then you guys can see the sticker wall here. Kind of naked, but hey, it works. That's fair. Kikumon, are you gonna knock everything over? So there's a lot of potential. And again, I kind of want this independent view, because eventually what I would like to do is do some sort of oh, I'm sorry to hear that, BCA parts. Eventually what I would like to do is Icey Mountain will come here. This is where Harbor Point is. And then I would like to have, you can see where those monitors are at. That's where the Kirby yard is going to be. And eventually, you know, I can do some very simple, straightforward operations. And then having this camera view, you guys can see the operations in play. Again, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of having the GoPro on my head, or maybe I'll have it on my shoulders. I think I may have it on my shoulders more. I'll probably try that for next time. But you guys can kind of see the command station that's kind of getting set up. So eventually, again, you have the dispatching table. Left side will be the chat, and then the right side will be the monitor that I'll use for JMRI. I'm gonna get all that squared away. That'll be the JMRI panel. This was my old stand. It was a 3-monitor stand, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna use it for. I just needed the space that this was occupying, so I said, you know what, I'll just put it here. It's kind of more future growth at the moment. But you can see my makeshift kind of command station. So I got my DCS52. That's connected to my PM74, which allows me I love the PM74. It allows me to go break up the blocks. It does block detection, and it's a circuit breaker protection as well. That's a 3-in-1. I love that thing. Here's my SE74. I'm currently not using it at the moment. I'll probably put it on, yeah, GoPro does make a chest rig, yeah. That's true, I should try that too. I should try all 3 and see which one feels better. Because I've got the shoulder mount. I do have the chest mount as well. Maybe the chest mount makes more sense. I think the chest mount could make more sense. But yeah, this is kind of all my tools and whatnot, my temporary storage. I have some projects that I'm working through right now. I've got to fix a couple couplers and wheels and so forth. So these are my high priority projects. Eventually I want to get some of these converted to DCC. Some European trains that I'm working on. I'm going to try to convert them to DCC. This is a Denver Rio Grande cattle train that I'm working on. I gotta swap out all the wheels. That's kind of my big project right now. So, and the rest is just random bits. Hey, Papa John. And let me just double check the basement again. I'm kind of basement. I have not been checking. Nope. Okay, we're good. Shoulder mount like the Predator. Which smallest building would I want next? I don't know. I'm not really focused on scenery and buildings right now. Because again, I'm more focused on getting this layout fully operational. And the biggest problem that I'm having right now is that Harbor Point, this modular over here, is just too tight. This radius is too tight for a lot of the engines that I really want to run, like my California Zephyr being the big one I really want to run. So, and that's where, matter of fact, the video just released today on the new Icey mountain. Again, shout out to Split Rock, who mentioned, you know, that turn looked a little too tight. And it's like, you know what, I decided to go back at it, and yeah, sure enough, it was still work, but it was still a little too tight for my liking. And so I completely redesigned it, and that video came out this morning. So yeah, this is kind of a new perspective. And what's cool about this, you know, I can take you guys to the actual, bring you guys over here, and we can rail fan. So, the fact that this camera allows me a lot of freedom. Oh, nice, you got back from a train club. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch the cams here. And this is my cat Kikumon, or Kiku. He likes to knock things over. Alright, let's take you guys back to all the cameras. Okay. And let's get off of that. Sweet. So yeah, that's kind of a road test of the GoPro cam. Now, in theory, I can get high definition on this train. That's the way to do it. The problem is that the overhang of the GoPro when it comes to lens will hit things as it goes down my track. So that's why I still prefer to do these other cameras. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll close that up. Now, the one camera view that I'm kind of excited for the future, and it's on my radar, is we're gonna get a drone, and we're gonna have a drone cam, kind of give you like a simulated helicopter cam. So imagine having a drone hovering over the train as it goes underneath you, give you like an overpass, or maybe like a helicopter view and so forth. So that's one that I'm experimenting with here pretty soon. So I've got some cool things coming up that I am excited for. Sorry if this is making some sound. Just leave that right there. Okay, let's get you guys back on board the train. We'll just go with the 2 cameras. Yeah, I'm gonna start small with drones. Like, I just want the entry level for right now, and see if that'll work. The fact that I can capture from my phone means that I can capture basically any app-based camera system. And so I was looking at Amazon. It's like, okay, I found myself a really entry-level drone that may just work for the space. Now, something I'm thinking about doing is I've got a workbench over here. That equipment is going to be pushed into my other room, because eventually what I would like to do is a time lapse of me building buildings, because I do have some building kits that I do want to build eventually. I know it's a big part of the hobby, and I'll like get a couple of these buildings up. There's like a motor park that I have, just really small buildings I can go on this layout. But I would like to capture the time lapse of it, and so I want to take all this equipment that I have here and put it into the other room. And then this tower, I'll go to all the cameras here. So you can see there's a giant shelf to my left, and that basically has all my equipment, from spare parts to wheels to screws and whatnot. And I love these containers because I can put a lot of stuff into it. So it's like, here's all my Katie couplers. Like, I live and die off of these Katie couplers here. They're the whisker couplers from Katie. Originally, I think they were known as number 5s, but I try to have a plethora of them. But anyways, this entire workbench is going to get relocated to the other office, so that way my drone won't run into this shelving unit that I got over here. And also that allows more light from the light above me onto the layout on that side. So that's kind of the game plan going forward. So we're going to continue to see how far we can go with the presentation of model railroading when it comes to how far with technology and cameras and such things like that. Because we've gotten pretty far. Like, the things that we can do now is great. Okay, let's take you to back on a train here. And yeah, I plan to get another kind of movable camera behind me, so that way I have the one in the front. The train's going by now, so I got this camera that can go. It basically can go left and right. But the other camera I'm looking into can go left, right, up, and down, and zoom 1 and 2. So it'll just allow me a lot more control of how I present the train. But something else that I've been wanting to get into, and again, it's just time. I want to get into 3D printing, because seeing what the plumber man has been 3D printing when it comes to his buildings, that's the way I want to go. Ay, ay, ay. No. . It's just the way the house came. We plan on repainting it, but again, it just takes time. I said this whole area is the loft, technically. So that little area with the red room is actually stairs going down. Yeah, again, there's a kind of a backstory. I got that when Exact Rail accidentally set their prices at 40%. So I grabbed that thing for 40% off. Because I thought they were going out of business like everyone else thought. Alright, so here comes the pass by. We've got the U-boats, the U-50. There's our OVR, Oak Ridge trash car. Alright, this song's a little much. I'm gonna skip this. Oh, I like this song. My old school intro back in the long days ago. And then there's my Atlas, God Bless America train, or cars, jeez, can't talk. And then the NES controller. Or wannabe, because the NES controller didn't have 3 red buttons, it had 2. But yeah, this freight train is actually pretty interesting because it's kind of a salute to the fallen flags that are under Union Pacific. With the exception of the 2 like decorated cars, the rest is UP under the UP family. So you saw Western Pacific, Southern Pacific, MKD. So it is Athearn. It's an Athearn Genesis Tsunami 1. So the GE U50 diesel. Eventually, I want to make a fire train, but not necessarily high priority. But I'm glad I picked those 2 up. Now there was 2 other cars with it, but the cost was a little too expensive for my taste, so I only grabbed those 2 that I could afford at the time. All right, as we get the U-boat coming back here. It's such a cool looking engine. I know it's got the looks only a mother could love, but I do like it. Of course you would have the U-boats, Papa John. That does not surprise me in the slightest. I love a Verosity too. Verosity was a good company. I mean, I know they're still around, but they're not really in the market share anymore. Oh yeah, and I'm assuming that's the U50s. Oh, Lionel, nice. Alright, so next Friday I will not be streaming. I will be going to the Samra general meeting. So I'm also their social media manager now. I was kind of voluntold to do it. So I was like, okay. So next Friday I won't be streaming. However, on Saturday I will be on RD stream on Saturday for a wacky weekend with friends. That's usually my promise is if I'm not streaming that week, then I'll hop on RD's channel. So that's where I will be. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Papa John. Alright, man, take it easy. Again, just catch me on the replay. Again, don't sacrifice your health. Get some good night's sleep. I know I stream at a very oddball time for the community, but really it's the only time that I can take out of my schedule to actually do it. And you know, I appreciate the time that you could spend with us. Again, on your guys' Friday night. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out to hang out and just chat about trains. There's so much to this hobby. Oh, they glued it? Oh, no. Ouch. Yeah, yikes. Who's that directed to, BCF? Is that to Papa John? Alrighty, Mystic, take it easy. Again, thank you so much for hanging out on a Friday evening. Out of all the places you could be. Oh, me. No, I didn't go. No, last week I didn't go to a train show. Last week was the 4th, so I did a lot of recording from the Samurai layout. Like that Sunday, I had the idea to do a Freedom Train special on the channel for 4th of July. So I did a lot of recording on Sunday to get the mini rail fanning, the 360, and the camera train videos set up. And then Monday, I pretty much spent half the day editing those 3 videos to get it released in time for 4th of July. So I don't know if you noticed, but all my content that came out on the 4th was all Freedom Train. All 3 of my shorts were Freedom Train. All 3 videos were Freedom Train. Because I just felt like it. I like doing little specials like that. But no, my next train show is questionable because we're trying to go to the NMRA convention. I've got a slot reserved on that Saturday with mini prints to get body scanned. Now the issue is my wife's got to go in for surgery as well, and we still don't know when that surgery date is. We had a date, but then it got canceled on us, so we had to reschedule. But we still don't know when that is. And so we're concerned that if it gets pushed too far to the right, we may not be able to go. Whereas we were a solid yes, we're going to. Crap, we gotta wait to buy our tickets until we know for a fact that we can go. So it is what it is. You know, life throws us some curveballs, so that's kind of our biggest curveball to figure out. So we're hoping still by the end of August to be at the NMRA convention. And I keep telling everyone, if we do go, we'll do a small meet and greet when we get body scanned. I'll hand out my stickers and whatnot. And then we're going to try to get some content over with the 4018 big boy that's there. So hopefully everything will work out. Again, we're still planning on going up until the point that, you know, we'll see what happens. And if this train show does fall apart, then we're gonna try our hardest to get to Amherst next year. Like, the thoughts of just not being able to go to the Amherst convention is gonna suck, but I want to make that up. I'm on a mission, so crossing fingers that we can go. So yeah, we got the NMRA in August. Then next February next year, we've got the Samra. Van Wertz. Interesting. That's pretty cool. You got so many train shows around you. Yeah, I get that, Papa John, and that's why you gotta pick and choose train shows sometimes. Like, there was one in Austin, Texas, but we didn't go to it because it was in downtown, and downtown's is kind of sketch for Austin, so we just didn't feel safe going down there. And funds was definitely a big problem because there was so many pre-orders that came out this year. And then a lot of emergencies came up this year for us, unfortunately. So it's like, I gotta my train fund usually goes into my streaming fund, because normally I have two different funds, but with everything that's been going on, my allowance is either I upgrade my streaming equipment, aka get those cameras, the drone and so forth, or it goes to either an engine for pre-order or a new engine, or it goes to the layout itself. It's usually one of three things. Yeah, it's just part of life, though. You know, we all got a budget and figure out pros and cons and. Hey, that's pretty cool. 7 train shows, nice. All in 1 year. That's actually pretty good, because normally for me on a good day I can get 3 train shows in a year. That's pretty good, Papa John. That's pretty good. If I remember, it was Ohio area. Yeah, Ohio. It's pretty good. But again, as I said earlier, thank you guys so much for 1,300 subscribers. It's crazy that we've gotten this far. I'm humbled. You know, it's you guys that makes this all happen. Again, I do my best to provide escapism content. You know, I talk about things mono railroading, things that I'm passionate about, things that maybe I'm too passionate about in some cases, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that we can have great conversations about this hobby. And I'm glad you guys are here. The Twin Cities, nice. 20 to 25, that's great to hear. That's great news, yeah. Yeah, I think the most I had in 1 year was 4. And that was on a good day back in Utah when I was growing up. And I know it was 5 because we actually had a NMRA convention there one time. So I got to see a national show, and that was quite that was the best train show I've ever been to, and I'm hoping we get to see that again, you know, coming up here in a month. So crossing fingers. So I've been to the Twin Cities once, and I was just driving for a business trip. I stopped at the Mall of America for a night. That was fun. But it was just a quick stop in and out of the city. Look at that, bringing people together. That's funny. That's the thing about this hobby. It's a very, very small world. Let me check something real quick. So I've driven through Tennessee. Oh man, Tennessee was such a beautiful... Tennessee and Kentucky were beautiful states. Okay, I need to skip this because I kind of don't want up... I kind of just want calm. It's a little bit better. Get you guys that front cam. You can kind of see the overhang there. Yeah, Nashville was so pretty. Going through the countryside of Kentucky was gorgeous. That's the thing. It's like I've been all over the West Coast. I've been mostly in the Mountain West for sure. Central U.S. I've never really lived in the East Coast. Like Texas is as far east as I've gotten to live, and south. Ah, Fort Knox, Kentucky, nice. Hey Root, how's it going? And welcome back. How are you? Oh, you rode your motorcycle to Nashville? Nice. That must have been a great trip. Oh no, rode the wrong plates. Yikes. Gotcha. "30 years ago, huh?" And then it just sounds like you gotten wiser since then. I know this camera's not as clear in quality, but it's a little choppy. But it is wireless. Fair enough, Papa John. Fair enough. What is the blue engine? Hang on. Let's do all the cameras here. Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. Let's do this. You probably saw a blue engine on the shelf there. So you're probably talking about... So there's a couple blue ones over there. I've got some Rock Island ones. U-boat, no less. I think it is the U-23. I'm not too familiar between the distinctions of the U's. And then I got some GP38s that are Missouri Pacific on that shelf back there. I think there's 138 and 138-2. And I ran them from time to time, and you've probably seen them on the channel before. On the track. Are you talking about the Freedom Train? I don't see any ones that are blue. So I've got I've got the Rio Grande Challenger. I've got the Rio Grande GP30. I have the 499 Freedom Train, the big boy, and the gas turbine that are on the track right now. Oh, that's just a, so that's a Challenger. That's a battery of the camera, if that's what you're looking at. That's a River Rossi Challenger. That's a Rio Grande scheme. Or painted. Decal, there we go. That's the word. And then coming up on our right, so I got some of the rock cars that are on to the right hand side. Again, there's the U-boat from the rock. Again, you've probably seen my Smurf train before. Looks like Santa Fe? No, I don't have any Santa Fe. No Santa Fe's. Alright, so we're bringing this U50 into view here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a stream. Again, as a reminder, no stream next Friday. I'll be at the Samurai General meeting, and so I will be on Artie's channel for his stream on Saturday night, I believe 7 U.S. Central Time. And so I'll be over there as a guest, just hanging out, chilling, and I'll probably run the U-boat again for that stream. So, but again, I cannot thank you enough for joining me today. Again, with the 1,300 subscribers, you guys are awesome. Onward and upward as we continue to get to that next milestone of 1,500. And yeah, we'll see where the rails take us from there. So, stream from the general meeting? No. I tend to keep that private. So, but from the Icey Railway, from the Ice Dragon, wing hugs to you guys, and have a good night. And I'll see you on the next stream.